Welcome back to Canis Mechanical. Today we're working on my brother-in-law's truck. Needs a steady bearing, so I crawl underneath and pull it out in the driveway tonight, and then tomorrow find out what bearing it needs, go get it, swap it on, put it back together. So let's get to it. Alright, we'll start by pulling these 4 bolts off. Alright, here's 7/16. Alright, we're gonna take all those off. Alright, so I marked everything. Just so I keep everything on phase and put it back in the same spot to prevent any driveline vibrations when we're done. Alright, so I got my bolts out. Top ones I can't quite slip out because of the driveline angle, but they're loose. So we gotta make sure you block the wheels so it can't roll away before you pull the drive shaft out. Alright, so grab your pry bar in here, pop it out, and I pulled my nose strap off. There we go. Alright. Drive shaft is loose. I want those cups to fall off. Got a roll of electrical tape here. Okay, Dars. Go around there a few times to keep things from falling out. Loosen all your needles. All my pins or whatever for that U-joint would be no good. Tape it up, it can't fall out. Alright, next step is to pull the nuts off of here. Put the steady bearing off. Once those are out, then the drive shaft will just slide straight out of the transfer case. Yeah, some of them have studs pointing down with the nuts down here. And other ones have the studs pressed in on the steady bearing with the nut on top. So I got the fun one. But we'll pull those off next. As you can see, the steady bearing, I mean, I got the bolts loose now, but this bushing is totally shredded. Not even sitting where it's supposed to sit. The rubber's all torn all the way around. There's all sorts of play. I'll attach a video of that. I took one the other day. Yeah, these ones actually aren't too tight. Thankfully, I can just get this up there and loosen them off. So it won't be long and we'll have this thing out on the ground. Slide the drive shaft out. I got the steady bearing, the carrier bearing out. See, that bushing is just done. Now we'll slide that out. I parked on a hill a bit, so hopefully the transfer case fluid doesn't fall out. As you see, it just slides out. I'm gonna set this down and pull it out. Alright, we're out. Didn't lose any fluid. Alright, you can see I got the drive shaft out on the bench now. We're going to split 2 pieces of this drive shaft. So I only take the one to work. So you got a mark here to keep them in phase. Also the yokes here line up. If they were, this one's sitting over here, you'd have a brutal vibration when driving. You gotta keep those in line, but I just put a couple marks in it just so we're extra sure. These are just pressure fit or squeeze clamps. I just get a pick in there, spread them back and forth. Sorry. And then you can, once they're spread, Hi. I sure am. No, I don't want you on here. Alright, so I got that spread. Come on, almost there. There we go. Popped off. So I'll just put this over here for now so I don't lose it. So you can see this slides right off now. Okay. So yeah, they make two different sizes of these bearings, which is why I have to take it off, bring it there, figure out which one I need, or take it off, measure it, figure out which one I need. So yeah, tomorrow I'll look at that. Just basically nothing left of this, just hanging on at the bottom here. Right there, that's the only one that's still attached. So I'll yeah, bring it to work and we'll pop it off, press it off tomorrow and get the new one on. Go in at lunch to Napa and find the one we need. Go from there. Alright, welcome back. Tonight we're putting the drive shaft back in the truck. I forgot to film it because work was crazy today. We got the steady bearing put in. So we have a big press at work, so I put a clamshell, basically slides in here around, and you lock it tight, and then you can hold up on that and press down on the shaft, and it popped off. And then to put the new one on, I just put a tube around onto the bearing and hammered it on. And put this piece here, which is a retainer for the clamp for this boot. And if you look, there's one different spline here. So this can actually only go on one way. And on this side too, on the transfer case side, look right here, there's a different, it's missing one, so it can only go on one way. So I did not have to mark it, but it's better safe than sorry anyways. So we're gonna get this thing put in now. Alright, we're gonna slide this drive shaft back into the transfer case. See if we can find the... Ah, there it is. Fairly different. So it is, looks, you can barely tell that it's there, but the groove between the ribs on it is not nearly as deep, so it only goes on one way. Slide that in, grab our spacer plate, go on either way, it's the same. And we're gonna line it up where it was before. You can see, yeah, you can see right here, that's where the spacer plate used to sit, so we're just gonna put it back in the same spot. There's a slotted hole, so I could put it. These nuts started. One, two, interesting. Yeah, not too good, it's crooked. Probably why the old one fell out. Make sure it's nice and straight. Alright, so I just realized that those painted marks actually make it sit cockeyed in here. Which is probably part of the reason we're bushing more out already. So we're gonna line it up nice and straight. Yeah, if you don't have a press at home or access to one at work, you're doing this, you could probably get in there with a punch or chisel and a hammer and separate it on the angle there, but definitely easier with a press. Oh. All right. All right, put some never sees on the threads. Then we get the back half of the drive shaft put back on. Oh, not a lot of room under here. All right. Grease works. I don't have grease right here. I got never sees though, so we're gonna use never sees. All right, a little bit all the way around. So as your suspension goes up and down in the back, the drive shaft needs to get shorter and longer. Or it does get shorter and longer, so it needs to have something to account for that, and that's what the splines on a drive shaft are for. It lets it come in and out a little bit, enough to accommodate suspension travel. So, no dirt in there. That looks good. There we go. So look, this yoke is lined up with that yoke. We got my mark here. Lined up with that mark. You can only go on one way, but so you can see this slides. Those axe goes up and down, slides in and out. There we go. This clamp put back on. Alright, so I found a pair of vice grips. Clamped it right beside here, and then you take a big flathead screwdriver and just kind of pry both ways. Spread it. And as you see, it's definitely should be spread far enough now. Alright, so we're clipped on. You can just use side cutters to crimp these, or you buy these designed for it. They're just hooked on like that. They work for CV boots, for sure on the Fords. Yeah, they pinch that and push in on it at the same time. Nice and snug. Now we're going to the back and we're going to put the rear U-joint in. Enough for the truck in neutral because it rolled ahead slightly when I disconnected it, so it won't line up. Alright. So I can spin the drive shaft, line it back up, and get it in place here. I'm gonna put my straps on, my nuts. Pulling it against the box with all the parts. Arm's getting tired. Let's get all these started. I'm blind here. Let's see what I'm doing. It's on top of the drive shaft. Working life of a mechanic. Working by braille most of the time. Yeah, a lot of the time. New plan. We're gonna roll this truck forward a little bit. By moving the blocks of wood. Jet's in there all the way. There we go. There we go. That's better. So at the angle of the drive shaft, it's a bit tricky to get them all started as they hit up here and on the piece when it's on top. And get those all tightened up. Alright, roll this forward again. Still an amateur at this videoing thing, but I must have bumped the button on accident. But I rolled the truck forward, tightened the other two, so now all four are tight. So, as you can see, drive shaft back in, new steady bearing. It's a job complete. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.